Welcome to the welcome to the Oblast webinar, guys. This is, I don't know, 8, 9, or 10. I stop counting when I see more smiley faces. We got some wonderful things happening tonight. Last week, if you remember, we had a little 2 weeks ago, we had a little glitch where we couldn't get someone on there, but that's okay. If you remember, I asked, what would you do if someone gave you $100 million? That was a pretty successful webinar, I thought, because you guys all were really good about that and answered it really good. Tonight, I have something very special, something that's kind of connected a lot to Oblast. And I'll tell you a quick little story. Tina had texted me about this, I think 2 weeks ago or a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I go and I review, I get a lot of them and I go through them and I try to get, I wouldn't say one's better than the other. I think they're all good, but try to get the right ones in the right place. Last week, we had engineer Mike come up with some brilliant kid who blew us all away. It was pretty amazing. Mike, thank you again for that. Today, I don't normally talk about what's going to happen on my lives about Oblast, but for some reason I felt I should. And I was talking about it, and just so happens the old Ashmeister, Mr. Mafaro, was on my live today. And I thought, of course, people were joking me. And I was explaining that Tina's coming on and she's going to be talking about refugees and helping them out. And lo and behold, we have another group with some of our leaders. And Ash Mafara sent us a video talking to me saying, Brother Chris, I can't believe you're talking about refugees. Look what I'm doing. He had Omar in his car. They were packing. They had tons of bags packed with food, clothes, toys for refugees' kids. I believe that he already took care of the adults. Now they were going back for the children. And he's like, man, well, what's the luck of you doing something? I said, pretty much Tina put in my head. And I actually told Marty, I think Ash is gonna tell him that we're gonna do something with the refugees through Tina tonight. And I don't know that Marty actually snuck it into his ear, but it was really cool to see that. So what I'm going to do is, like I always do, is I want everyone to sit back and relax. I am going to hand the show over to my beautiful sister, Tina from Singapore. She is going to let you know what's going on.
Miss,
And then when we're done,
dia tak clear. Dia mirrored. So how to put mirror me? Oops, again. Gosh. So sorry.
There you go. If there's any questions at the end, we'll ask them. But right now I'm going to hand it over to Tina. And welcome to Oblast, Tina. The show is yours.
Hello, world. Hello, my fellow Unperseverance. Beautiful people here. We're all blessed to be here. And I believe, hearing what Chris just said, that the cosmos is aligned to what we're going to do. So it's really, we're all really blessed to be in Unpassive. I love Unpassive. I love Ash Mafara. I love all of you, the pioneers of Unpassive. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, actually. I've been trying to get them to say yes to me. So I've been working and working. I met 5 roses without 5 roses. Her name is Fairuz. I met Fairuz, my beautiful sister, originally from Singapore, but she's living in Malaysia at the moment. And so is her sister Zaida, who's also in the Zoom today. Both of them have been doing work with the refugees that's in Malaysia. And I understand that's about 6 figures, I think about 300,000 refugees in Malaysia. And they can't help all of them, but they're concentrating their focus on a few of the Middle Eastern refugees. Zaida and Fairuz themselves are Arabs, and so that's where the affinity with the Somalian, with the Yemenis, and all the other refugees in Malaysia. So I was thinking, and I thought it would be so great if we would have refugees to help them. So I've gifted 2 of them here. I hope both of them are here, but I know Fatuma of Fatima is here today or tonight as well. And she's a refugee, and I'm so grateful for her to be here and agreeing to share her story. But let me introduce Fairuz to you, to all of you, to get to know exactly how she's been doing this with her little network of friends for the last 15 years, helping the refugees. But Fairuz, if you can unmute yourself and say hello and tell us your story.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tina, for the wonderful introduction. Well, I have been in Malaysia now for the last 30 years. So basically, I'm more Malaysian than I am Singaporean. But meeting the refugees in malls and on the streets, that's how I started. I asked them, where are you from? And then they started telling me their stories, their plights. So then I got the friends all together to help them. And one by one, I've been introduced to many others. And now I have all the refugees in hand, which are coming from Rohingya, from Pakistan, from the Somalians, from the Yemenis, and the Palestinians as well. So I've got quite a range of refugees. So basically, what we do is we actually gather funds, crowdfunding with friends and relatives, and we solve case by case. Some, or rather, usually, is their rent, their house rent, their medical, and their school fees. These are three main areas which is always a problem. Food, when they have more, when they have little, they have less. But they always stuck with their rent, sometimes up to 6 months rent not paid. And when the owner is wanting them out, they start looking for us. And we have to solve their problem. And that's when we gather all the funds and solve their problems. So solving their problems by just gathering money from friends and relatives cannot be the ultimate way. So we want to help them. And now that we have OnPassive, we're hoping when we have all the funds, we can do more for them. I would love to set up probably a little office for them to do maybe some Arabic service providers or some kind of work for them to do from this end. I mean, you can do a lot online. Nevertheless, language is a problem. They can only do it in Arabic for some. And the Pakistani refugees can do online work if they're good at it. So we're trying to gather more things to do for them. Whenever we think of a school, their children are not in school, we're thinking of a little school for them as well. Probably no fees to be charged, because transportation alone is in itself is funds again. So there's a lot of things that we need to. Everything boils down back to money, really. So we have Zaida especially started. She'll speak to you a bit more on what we tried to do online for them, for the ladies to cook and sell. So I will not go there. Let Zaida explain why it didn't work. And anyhow, so with the refugees, they are allowed to come to Malaysia. Malaysia opened their doors, but they're not given any form of help. They cannot work. They cannot do anything. They can't even open a bank account. So how do you do business with no bank account? So they're really a very big problem here. I don't know how it's going to get solved, but money solves everything for them. So I hope OnPassive will help in that way. Thank you, Tina, for letting us speak to others and for others to be present and listening to our plight and what work we do here. Thank you so much for coming in and listening to us. Thank you again. Anything else, Tina, that you want to ask me?
You're absolutely gorgeous and great there. Thank you, Fairuz. By the way, Fairuz I call her my sister because we're both born on the same day.
We have the same birthday.
Yeah, we have the same birthday on different years. So that's what I meant about the cosmos. We were joined together because of the cosmos. And today, as Chris was saying, our CEO Ash Mofara is visiting the refugees while we are talking about the refugees. Zaida, I would like to bring you on for now. Zaida is Fairuz's sister. She's been a great help to Fairuz in helping out with the refugees, really actually getting them to on the platform, on Facebook platform, to actually do a catering kind of business. Tell us more, Zaida.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I actually came over to Malaysia last June 2021. And that's when my sister Fairuz roped me in to help out, because due to the pandemic, help was overwhelming. So that's when I realized that we cannot keep on asking for donations. And I must say that I admire how she managed to be thick-skinned to ask for donations from everyone, because it's not an easy thing at all. I did it a few times, and I told myself, that's it, I'm not going to do it again. If I can afford it, I'm going to help myself, but I'd rather do that than go asking for donations. It's really not easy. Anyhow, I decided that perhaps we could try and get the most out of their skills. And obviously, they can all cook and bake. So we managed to get each of them to come up with the best that they can do, a few dishes, and took the pictures, put them on Instagram, and get a delivery to send the food, and tried to advertise as much as we could. But it's been since November, okay? And it's been like, what, 6-7 months now? What I notice is that Malaysians have some reservations towards refugees because of their position in Malaysia. I mean, the position of refugees. They're not able to work. They're not able to, legally, they're not able to work. And like what Fairuz said, they're not able to have bank accounts. So, and, there are so many Malaysians who are poor. So, and, wherever they're staying, delivery will be expensive to any part of Malaysia. I mean, to any part of Kuala Lumpur, the capital. So it becomes expensive. Therefore, I feel that this formula of highlighting the refugees is not the right formula. We need to do something else. Just get them to work so that they can earn a living, and that's it. So that is another thing that we need to think about. We have yet to decide what we can do in order to help all of them. There are about, in total, I think around almost 200,000, if we include all the refugees, from Myanmar and all that. Okay, so that's a thing. It's still hanging. You may want to look it up. It's called Al Banat on Instagram. You can see all the delicious dishes. Unfortunately, there are other choices. So Malaysians rather choose from, restaurants than buying from refugees. There's another thing that I'd like to share, since I'm given this opportunity, if you don't mind, Tina.
Yes, please go ahead, Zaida. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. I've been, over the years, been stalking non-government Instagrams of non-governmental organizations. So what I gathered is that there are two types of refugees, of course, those who manage to escape to a second country, and those who live in refugee camps. So the ones who are living in refugee camps, you can almost say that they are totally dependent on humanitarian aid. You know, even if they do grow, do a little bit of farming, that's very limited. And the best way to help them, I would suggest, is to collaborate with existing non-governmental organizations who have proven track record in managing the funds. That would be the easiest, the fastest, the most practical, the best, basically. And the topmost necessities would be food and clothes. But, you know, there's more to being a human being than just having food and clothes. So they need things like, and these things I would categorize them into four. Number one, assistance, okay? And this can be in any form needed, immediate urgent assistance. It can be food, it can be medical treatment, etc., etc. Number two, in fact, I watched a video whereby a child said he eats grass. So you can imagine that the state that they are in. Number two would be education, because most children are illiterate. And, you know, if only we can build simple schools, just a simple structure with classrooms. All they need is basic knowledge, how to read, how to write, how to count, and hopefully over the years they can develop themselves. Number three, protection. Okay, now what I mean by protection is the tents that they are living in itself. The tents that have been provided by UNHCR are considered not good enough to protect them from the heat, the extreme cold. And I think we are aware that many of them die during winter every year, and the desert storms. In fact, the toilets are also in the form of a tent. So that means the door to the toilet is just a piece of cloth. So it'd be great if we can actually replace these tents with, I know this sounds crazy, but if only we can replace these tents with simple houses, because these people have been there for some of them more than 10 years. Because, for example, the Syrian war has been ongoing for the past 11 years, Yemeni war, 8 years. You know, whatever that's happening in Palestine has been like some 70 years, and many other countries. And there is no hope as to when they can go back to their countries so far. So, you know, it's as good as they might be permanent there, for all you know. And number four would be health, of course. They need basic hygiene kits, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, comb, soap, sanitary pads, the least. And, you know, you see children walking around barefooted and, you know, bruises and with skin problems. So, and this is just physical health. What about their mental health, their psychological health? There's so much to look into. So I think that's about it. Hopefully we can do something great for these refugees all over the world. There are like the top countries who are refugees: Syria, Venezuela, Palestine, Afghanistan, South Sudan, Myanmar, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Sudan, Somalia, and Central African Republic. Some info that I got through Google. So, okay, that's it. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you so
Zaida.
much for sharing, Zaida. I know I've seen videos. I think we all have seen videos of the plight of the refugees, especially so while they're escaping the war-torn countries, and also the living conditions that it is so deplorable, especially out there in the desert. While, like you said, while waiting for UNHR to UNCHR to actually transport them or to repatriate them to another better place to live in. So we hear so far about how Fires have been helping on her own for the last 15 years to help the people and the refugees in Malaysia. We hear how Zaida is telling us about what they really need, and it's right down to the basics. So, Chris, my question to you with regards to living conditions. I know Ash Mufareh has got a lot of things up his sleeve, and we've been discussing as well. We've got someone here on Oblast previously talking about 3D homes. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Well, if you guys all heard Ask the other day, when he was doing the questions from everyone, he had talked about physical products, 3D products, which includes the homes. First of all, I want to say thank you to these two beautiful ladies who just spoke about on this terrible, terrible thing. And thank God there's people like you out there that are helping these people and bringing it forward to, I believe, a platform or a wonderful thing called Oblast that I think is going to help them out. Now, I don't think I know. And it's sad because I did the statistics from some of the countries that you just named. Is it Zendaya? Do I say that correct? Zendaya? You're muted, young lady.
Her name is Zaida.
Zaida. Okay, I apologize. And some of the countries that you were naming, I was actually looking through that, and I wanted to understand how big the refugee problem is in the world. There's 26.6 million refugees in this world right now. These two wonderful ladies are talking about, well, let's just say a very small sector that's part of this big globe we got called the world. Ash Mufareh said to me when I was in Boston, brother, we have a lot of work to do. And I'm going to look in these beautiful ladies' eyes and say, sisters, we have a lot of work to do. This is worldwide. Refugees are mostly because of wars, because people just can't seem to get along, and you got a person here and a person here arguing, and everyone in the middle gets pushed aside, and they don't care about those people. One of the things I think Oblast is going to change, hopefully, is the mindset of these, I'm going to straight out call them evil people that don't care about their country. They don't care about people. Because when you're pushing people out of your home country, all right, and we got beautiful people like you ladies coming up saying, listen, we need to help these people. They need to be fed. They need to have medicine. They need to have homes. All right. This is why Ash Mufareh created Oblast. It wasn't just about, listen, we talk about homelessness, which in itself is a terrible thing. But when I think about refugees of being actually pushed away from their homes, their land, their countries, it's sad. It's really, really sad. But thank God we got people like you that are willing to not just fight for them, but help them. You know, Oblast is going to turn so many things around. Now, we all start talking about Oblast with homelessness. I believe that many things can be tackled very fast, because basically refugees are homeless. And Ash Mufareh has got many plans up his sleeve. I'm pretty sure hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're going to hear Ash Mufareh talk about Oblast and what he's come up with, the way he's going to do it. But my goodness, can you imagine, you can build a 3D home in less than 12 hours? About a 2-bedroom home in 12 hours? You got to think of how many 3D homes, and it's pretty inexpensive. All right. But how do you put a price on a home that's going to take care of a family that was kicked out of their home in their country? Think about that. Just think about every piece of real estate in this world right now where we have these refugees. Do you know how much property there is out there that we could build homes to help people? But there's a lot of people up here that say, oh no, we want to keep you down. No, man, Noblesse is about bringing people up. It's about not fighting the evil guy, but showing the evil guy, look, good always wins. You may have pushed me aside for now, and that's okay. But I know that this thing called Noblesse is going to come and help us out. Hopefully, and I said it real clear yesterday, and I've always agreed with this, no matter where there's good, there's always someone evil. There's always someone trying to get ahead or cut in to make things bad for everyone. All right. We all know who those people are. We recognize them. Sometimes we just got to ignore those people. You know, if we build a high enough mountain, those people can't see us anymore. That's the way I look at it. So anyone that I come across negative, I build a real high mountain around me. I don't see those negative people. And that mountain is surrounded by just perfect people that are positive, that want to do good for everybody. This is 2022. There's no more reason for the hate. There's no more reason for these stupid wars. There's no more reason to hate because of color or gender. That's the things that we got to tackle. If we could tackle all those things, we're not going to have refugees. We're going to have happy families. So at this point, if anyone's got any questions to ask these two wonderful ladies or Tina, please raise your hand and let's give them some tough questions, because I think these are two tough ladies. If they're dealing with what they're dealing, they got to be tough. So you guys want to raise your hands? Go ahead.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Hold your horses there, Chris. There is someone really special that I would also like to bring on board for her. It's Fatima or Fatuma, because of the different spelling in terms of pronunciation on the name. She herself is a blessed soul. She's a founder partner of Which Have Gifted, and she herself is a refugee in Malaysia. She has she's the leader, community leader for the refugees, the Somalian refugees in Malaysia. And I would really love to have her on board to share her stories, her plight of how, she escaped from Somalia and got herself into Malaysia. And she's been there for a long time. So I would love to hear the story of how she has survived the journey from the war-torn home and into another country, and really trying so hard to assimilate into the culture, which is totally different, although they're both Muslim countries. So Fatima, if you're here, Fatima, I would love for you to share your story.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, Miss Tina.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum to you.
Salam. Hi, everyone. My name is Fatuma. As Tina said, I stay in Malaysia for almost 11 years. This is not my first refugee being in Malaysia, and I was being refugee for almost like 25 years. So I was being many camp since 1992. That was the time I started my journey being a refugee, and until now. I was being a different camp, which was really hard. At the same time, I feel like I'm getting more experience being a refugee. It's like I have done a lot, especially for my community. When I came in Malaysia, it was hard. Most of the communities, especially for Somali communities, I feel like they don't know where to go, where to start. Most of them, they were having terrible problems, which even the UNCR cannot even handle them. Most of them, I feel the refugees, when they don't have nothing to eat, nothing to do, it's like they are even killing themselves because they cannot, stay, which they cannot eat anything. Sometimes I feel like why the militias are they not looking the refugees? Are they not human beings? Are they not have right to work? Are they not even they are, I don't know, they are not even thinking these people, they are human beings. In other countries where I have been in refugee, in fact, they were doing a lot. The UNHCR itself, they were giving food, they were giving shelter, they were giving free medical, they were giving free education. But in Malaysia, it's really, it was the worst country I have ever experienced, because I have been many camp, many refugees, many countries. But when I compare, Malaysia was the worst one for the reality, because the UNHCR itself, they cannot even help refugees who are staying in Malaysia. Most of them, they are dying for hunger. No food. You feel like sometimes when I'm eating the food, I feel like, what about the others? What about my neighbor? Did they eat today? That's what I feel sometimes. And another thing, and we cannot, Sister Feiruz, she's really trying to do many things for especially the refugees, but we cannot, Sister Feiruz, she cannot end up giving money, giving food all the time. But they need a life. They need something to do. They need they have to be independent themselves. They have to do something. It's not like we are sitting in the house, we don't have nothing to eat. The government, the law of Malaysia, they are not allowing to work. And even if we try to work, you feel like the owner of the place where they are working, they can work like 2 months or 3 months. They end up that they are not paying them. They're not paying their salary. And when they start by saying like they need their salary, the owner say, no, we are not going to give you your salary. They end up like there's no salary. They work a lot and they cannot go to police. They cannot report. That's the main importance. The only thing that I'm trying is like all the refugees over all the world, I don't think they depend someone's hand. They're not depending of someone's hand. Like NGO, for example, the NGOs are giving food, they're giving what they need. No, I feel like because most of the refugees, they are very well experienced. They know how to work. They need to do their own work. They want to show all the world what they are doing. They know how to do something. They want to come up something. They want to, to live. It's not like Sister Feiruz, today we have a problem. That case, one woman, she's already out of her house. She don't have money to pay. Something like that, like hospitality, something like this coming time to time. I don't feel like we can end up giving, money, food. No, I think we need refugees to come out, to have a life, to have a freedom that they can work. Let them earn, let them get something for their children. Most of them in Somali community, they are single mothers, which they don't know even how to speak, how to stand. Some of them, they have 8 children, 7 children. Some of them even they have a children which is even abnormal. Some of them, they have a children which they end up the hospital and they don't have any money to pay. They even die in the hospitals. I think we need to come up something which we can help refugees, not even in Malaysia, all over the world, because refugees everywhere, they are same. So we have to treat the same way. We have to come out something which they can help their life. For me, Alhamdulillah, it's like I'm working. I'm working as a while in my home as online, but you can feel some single mothers which even they cannot do anything because they don't know how to speak, they don't know how to use even the computers. See, but Alhamdulillah, I have learned a lot because I was in different countries. I used to go to school. I have to learn so that in order to help my family, my children, I have to stand up. But most of the Somali single mothers, they end up like getting many children and they cannot do nothing because they feel they come from Somalia to Malaysia. But me, that's why I say I have experience because I was in many different camp in refugees since 1992. But Alhamdulillah, I have struggled a lot in Malaysia. I have did many things. Finally, I got married. I got children. I know where I can start to work. I said the only way I can do is I have to do online work. Online work, nobody will say you don't have right to work. So it's like I am doing, Alhamdulillah, and I have succeeded. So that's why we are trying to help other refugees, single mothers who can, do the similar that. At least like Sister Zaida, she come up like they have to, cook. If they know how to cook, they have to cook. Then we sell what they cook. I think that one, at least they can benefit to give the children. But I don't think they can even pay the rental. Some of them, they are working at the same time. They can't even pay their rental. I think the refugees, they need really, they need a lot of things. They need education, as the virus said. They need a health. They need a financial support. I think they need individual shelter, counseling. That's what they need. And I think we are the one who stand for the refugees. I feel now, I feel I'm a refugee, but I feel like I have to stand refugees because I know the pain they are causing. Some of them I have experienced when I came in Malaysia, they are eating a bread with a Colgate. To make like, the Colgate make like a butter to eat. It's like they don't have what to buy. And we are in a Muslim country. Even, I don't know what to say. I feel like Malaysia is not a good place where the refugee can stay. But the people, Malaysian people, they have a heart. But the government, no. But the Malaysian people, they have a heart. They feel they are human beings. They want to do work. They want to eat something. Sometimes I feel like my neighbor, I have to knock. I say, did you eat this morning? See, I have to feel like, it's not like I'm feeding my children and my neighbor, they did not even cook. It's really terrible. So I think this is what I can say for the refugee in Malaysia. And I'm very thank you for everyone, especially for Sister Tina. I thank you for giving this opportunity to stand for the refugees. Thank you.
Okay, can I just say something, Tina?
Go ahead, Fairuz. The floor is yours. Tonight in the US, we want to hear your story, yours, Zaida's, Fatuma, and Lynn. If you see a Faisal, Feysal, I think he's trying to come in. I thought I'd share the perspective from a young man as well. So I hope that he's connecting well, and we can hear his side of the story. Yes, Colgate, that from the chat, Colgate that Fatuma was saying is toothpaste. It's a brand of toothpaste. So imagine you as a mother spreading toothpaste over bread and giving it to your child to eat. That's the way it is. But yeah, Fairuz, please let us know what you have in mind to share. I do have a little bit something later, but I would love to hear from you first, you being there with them.
Yeah, it's also heartbreaking. I know you all feeling that as well. But this plight has been going on for so many years. So why are refugees still around? Why are these problems never solved? I think they want it that way. Otherwise, probably things would have, be solved. Who are the people who want them to be like this? This is the core of the problem. Who wants them to be remaining as it is, as they are now? So we as common people have to come up and save. Everyone look at your neighbor. If everybody just save your neighbor, then all things done. Start looking around and see who are the people that needs. We never know who. Maybe your neighbor, even if they're not a refugee, they're having a plight. Now, having said that, refugees in Malaysia, I've been trying to get every Malaysian to recognize a refugee. I've been trying to get this awareness. We're called Refugee Partner Malaysia, RPM. This in mind so that they understand they are refugees. Malaysians are not aware of, they're so surprised there are such refugees in Malaysia because the refugees are staying in far places, which are cheap. So their accommodation is far from the Malaysians and they try to stick together. So the rents, they're all in apartments here in the cheaper end of Kuala Lumpur. So they're like 600, 700 a month or 1,000 at the most of rental. And they all stick together. So the Malaysians don't know they even exist. So I tried to start this awareness of Refugee Partnering Malaysia. So if every Malaysian has one, buddy system sort of to say, then there is no problem. But somehow or other, this didn't work either. Either I'm not good at marketing or I'm not with the government, or I don't know why. No awareness. I think the government do not want, because they also have poor people themselves to handle. They don't want to highlight the plight of the refugees in Malaysia. So we have to do it, under a pretext that we are helping both Malaysians and refugees. I concentrate on refugees because I feel the Malaysians have got other NGOs to help. So I help in any way I can, whatever way I can. So this is the thing. No, but it's not that the Malaysians, they have a heart. It's just that the whole system is not there. They are not aware of refugees. They're not aware that they have to help them. And they have so many poor people as well. So I'm a Singaporean, but I just want to be fair to the Malaysians. They don't know that the refugees are here and that they need help. They think refugees are helped by UNCHR or they've got help from the United Nations. So it's not enough, whatever help, but they don't get help at all in Malaysia. I don't know what the UNCHR function is here in Malaysia. They're just keeping mum and everybody else is helping the refugees here. And yes, to set up companies for them so that they can work online. If any of you need, now people work online, they can be anywhere in the world. So you can employ them. That is the easiest for them. They don't have to be, seen as they're working. So this online thing is the best for them. Okay, so having said all that, what is the status we are trying to do for them? Hopefully with On Passive, something can be done. Okay, thank you all for listening, and hope with this and with all our prayers, we'll get somewhere and get to help them become more human, having a life. They cannot be staying in that small apartments with 8 children, but they have no choice. They need to go to a nicer place and live like us all. So they cannot have activities because going out of the house means money. So it's not fair. And why this word refugee still around? Why is this word refugee still around? Who is giving them refuge? Bullshit. I hate to say that word, but it's all, if you talk about scam, this is the biggest scam. Anyhow, that's Fairuz for you. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Fairuz. Thank you so much. I think Faisal is having issues accepting to come up in the panelist, but I do hope that he comes on as well later. But I think from what we hear from all of them, the three ladies today, this morning or this evening, is about dignity. Dignity of being a person, dignity of being belonging to a country, dignity of having the freedom. I talked about freedom of choice with Ash the other day. And I think that is the biggest thing that's lacking, that freedom of choice on where I can live, where I can choose to be me, where I can contribute to the community. Fatuma is doing a phenomenal job. She herself, because she herself know how these the others their plight, and so she's out there stepping out as a leader to bring whatever she has from Virus have gathered for her and distributing them to the community. But I think the biggest word here is dignity of being a human.
Exactly.
Chris, yeah. I'm not sure if Faisal has come in. Lynn, do you know if she's in? No.
No, I don't think Faisal can, because it keeps declining, but she may not be seeing the invitation, I think.
All right. Zaida, you know a little bit about Faisal, his background. If you can, or Fatuma, you know, he's in the Somalian refugee community as well, right? If you want to talk, share a little bit about Faisal's background, if you don't mind sharing it with us.
I think Fatuma doesn't know Faisal because the community
Okay.
is big. She's looking after the community on her end, and they're staying in a different end. Yeah, they have few camps as well with the Somalian community. I think Zaida will know Faisal because she taught him in school.
Okay, I don't know much, but yes, he was my student, and he's also my son's friend because they were classmates. What I know is he is the one who is supporting the family now. He's only around 26, 27, I think, about my son's age. And he's a very intelligent boy, as far as I remember, at school. But he is not able to continue to further studies, you know, to the university, simply because of his financial status. You know, so all his friends, all his classmates have graduated, have found a job, but here he is, a very bright boy, but having to do whatever he can to make ends meet. So
yes, I understand
really
that.
happy.
Yeah. Yes, I know him saying that he's trying to find a job to gather money for his education in university in Malaysia. And I know that he's the breadwinner of the family because they lost their father back in Somalia, and having about six siblings that he has to look after together with his mom. Yeah,
I'm not
around
sure
there.
the
Yeah,
number. One of his sisters died. One of his sisters was also my student. She was very ill. She was in and out of the hospital, and eventually, as a young girl in her teenage years, she passed away a few years ago. Yeah.
So, yeah, Chris, I'll hand over the floor to you to see how we proceed from here.
Medical is a problem as well. Medical is expensive everywhere in the world. So they die because they don't get proper medical treatment. Oh dear. We can go on and on with all this, like they have gone with all this for umpteen years. But I think now we have to find solutions. We know their plight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how long has this been going on? What's your estimate guess? How many years you think this has actually been going on? Since the beginning of time, maybe?
Maybe
And-
I
and
think
no
70
one-
years.
And no one is,
Easy.
no one's cared enough to take a rule on to say, hey, we gotta fix this. All right,
Exactly.
I think, Chris, sorry, I think it's not in so much the UN CHR. Maybe they're not impressionable enough to the Malaysian government to actually change certain policies, especially so them not being issued. They cannot be issued with a work permit. So if that can happen, that would definitely help so much more in the community, because I actually have work that's in line for the refugees, but the companies need them to have a work permit. It's the policy.
But they are in camps. They're supposed to be transported out, not to stay too long, but nobody cares. You see, the countries that are willing to take refugees in seems to be keeping quiet, seems to not be taking them in. So they are still in places, in camps in Kenya, in Malaysia, and elsewhere, still in camps when they should be already transported out. I don't think they want to be in Malaysia. They want to be in America, they want to be in New Zealand, they want to be in Australia. They want to be in a better country. Malaysia is still a third world country, probably the best of the third world. But this
I
is not where
think-
they want to be. They want to be in the first world country. So I think the first world countries are keeping quiet, or maybe they should all adopt one refugee every home and solve
I-
all the problem.
I
Yes,
think
who was it?
Okay, Chris,
I-
back to you, Chris.
No, Fatuma wants to say something.
Fatuma, go ahead. go
Okay,
ahead.
Fatuma.
I think the problem is it's UNCR, because most of the refugees who are staying in Malaysia, they already are settled with another country, but they don't want the UNCR to push them, to go out of the country. They don't want to settle these refugees. They want the refugees to, to stay in Malaysia, to end up with no life. Because now I feel like not only me, there's another refugees which I know, they already did even medical checkup, everything. They are only ready to go to US or Canada or another country. But the UNCR, they don't want to take. Again, they are, before in 2019, they are pushing those people who have a cancer, like cancer disease. Those are the only refugees who have the opportunity to go to another country. And now I feel like UNCR becoming the worst in Malaysia. They are not even caring the refugees. If you go to UNCR, you will find a family sleeping outside of the UNCR for 3 days. And the security, they are chasing them. They came there because they want a house. They need a place to stay. They don't care. They need the refugee to stay in Malaysia forever. They don't wanna help them. Even if you go to the hospital, you find many refugees end up in hospital. They don't want to help. Sometimes I feel like they say, okay, we want to help them. They want to pay $375 for a rental for 3 months. Then no more. It's like I feel like refugees in Malaysia. It's like we are a prison in Malaysia. We are in a prison. We are in prison with which is open in the roof. We are in prison with open in a roof. We are just stick there. Nowhere to go, no work to do, nothing to help the refugees. And I feel I'm still talking to the UNCR. I have their emails, I have their groups. We are even together in one group. No one is listening. I feel like when I raise my voice, they are taking me back. They don't wanna raise voice. They don't wanna give our freedom. I feel Malaysia refugees in Malaysia, they are really having a terrible situation.
Tuma, tell me your solution to fix it. I would love to hear your solution. How do you think you could fix this? Just off the top of your head. I want to hear your mind.
I think the only solution in refugee in Malaysia is to get a lawyer in every refugees to get a better life, another country, better than Malaysia. Because most of them, they already did a resettlement. They are ready to go another country, but they don't have right to go because the UNHCR are pushing back. In 2016, that's the day I did a medical checkup, and I was ready to go to United States because that's the way my family are there. I'm the only person who is staying in Malaysia. All my family in US, in Canada. But when I was working in UNHCR back in Kenya, it was like when your family settled in another country and you are in refugee, they have to, the UNHCR is supposed to take you to another country, same country with your family. But in Malaysia, they are giving you back. Imagine now my family are supporting me. What about the other refugees who they don't have a family in abroad and they're not supporting anyone?
Yes. Fatuma has got family in America, so that's why she's fine. And, you know, they send her money so she can help others as well. So in a way, what she's trying to say is she should already be shipped out in 2016 to her family in America. But things are not moving here. Things are not done properly here. So there's a lot of plight for them and they're already here. So what else can we do but just to help them? They're already here. They need to live, they need to survive. So we as individuals try and do our best. And hopefully with OnPassive, family and friends who understands, they can also give a hand. Again, I'm asking. As Zaida said.
Thank you.
it's
Thank you,
always
Fairuz.
all right, thank you all.
I understand. Thank you, Fairuz. I understand Faisal is here. Faisal, the young man we were just talking about. Faisal, if you can't switch on your video, just share your story and your dream. You are a young man. What is your dream of a life for yourself and for your future? Please
Good
unmute
morning,
yourself.
everyone. Yes, I've unmuted myself. Can you hear me? See me?
Assalamualaikum. We hear you great. Thank you, Faisal. Please.
Can you see me, everyone? Okay, so my name is Faisal Ahmed. I'm a refugee here, and today I would like to participate in this group and share my story. Going off of what Fatuma just said, I think the UNHCR here is having a lot of bureaucracy issues because even for me, our case, what's going on is we've already passed through we are on a medical status. So the level we are right now is that we're just waiting for medical and then travel. So but the problem is that they keep saying that the DHS in America is holding our papers. So they don't have any power to further our case without the DHS and go of our case from there. So I don't think it's a UNHCR issue here because it's like as soon as the papers get to the DHS in America, they don't have any how do you say it? They don't have any authority to decide the case unless the papers come back to them. So that is what's happening right now. I think a lot of families are going through that because they've already been accepted in USA and they're just waiting for the travel, but then there's like no answer. Every time they call the UNHCR, they always, ask for the status of their case, but then there's always there's usually no answer, there's no clarification of what's going on. They always just blame it that the case is on DHS's hands and that they have to wait. So yeah, I think that is what's happening. It's more of I think like somebody mentioned, it's more of a bureaucracy issue, and that the cases are not been moving as fast as usually they would. And maybe because of administration changes from Trump to Biden, that might also cause some issues. I don't know how fast cases move. So I don't know. They've always been blaming that side of of the process. So I think maybe I think the UNHCR is kind of doing what they can. So I don't usually blame them. I just take it how it is. I think. But like Fatuma mentioned, the problem in here, being a refugee here, is that there's literally there's no progress, there's no life, there's nothing you can do that to kind of, you can have autonomy of your life. You can work, you can find opportunities, you can do something for yourself. There are policies in place that always kind of stop you or kind of hinder your progress. I think to me, like, education is an issue because I cannot find opportunity to be educated because first of all, financial issues, and also the other thing is that usually education is visa based if you're a foreigner. So it's like there is no policies in place that kind of cater to people who have got special issues like me. I mean, there are some universities that have partnered up with UNHCR, and that's how I was able to finish my, I can say my college before going to university. But other than that, there isn't really much, wiggle room to find how to fix this issue. So yeah, I think most of what has been mentioned by Fatuma is usually being solved by all the other witnesses there.
All right,
Back
Chris,
to
I
you.
think we've got a few hands. Thank you so much, Faisal.
I just want to
Alhamdulillah.
answer, I want to answer to Chris' question of the solution. Actually, Chris, if everybody adopts one family, if they can afford it, and that's the easiest way and fastest way for them to get out of Malaysia, this is the solution that I can think of. It's easier for, to adopt them, a family in America or in Australia, adopt this family if they can afford it, because it's a lot of mouths to feed. So that is one solution I feel that is the fastest. Adoption. Adoption, no one can say no. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's my answer to your question, Chris.
And that's
Adoption.
what I was looking for, because I hear what's wrong. I hear what you guys are going through and what you're dealing with. And now it's time to put these solutions together. That's what I'm looking for. There's probably quite a few people in this world that would gladly adopt a family, children, older people, just to help them out. The problem is,
Yes.
it's not put on national news like it should be. We see the hate and the crimes, but they don't get on there and say, listen, here's an organization, what I'd like to see called Obless. We're looking for people from all over the world that are willing to help these individuals out, get them on their feet, house them, feed them, medical. I mean, that's a great solution. There's your number one solution right there. But we got to start somewhere for that. And like you said, I'm glad you actually brought that up, because adoption of any kind is a wonderful thing. Myself and my family, I believe we have 4 adopted kids, and I'm glad that I have kids from relatives. I call them my relatives that were adopted. One is a doctor, 2 of them are engineers, and one of them is a teacher. And these are kids that either had very young parents and were scared, or maybe lost their parents. We don't know the history, but it's really not important about the history. It's important. We already know the history of most refugees. The most important thing is, how do we help the refugees? How do we help these? Let's not even call them refugees, they're people. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
It's just
why this word
just
refugee?
it's another name that we gave people to say, oh, look, how about we just call them people that need help instead of refugees? These are people. We seem to forget that a lot of the times. That, listen, the only time, and I'm going to be a little harsh, the only time you want to fix this problem, you take all the higher ups, we'll call them, to be nice, and let's take their family and just go and throw them out of their house, push them through the waters of mud, yuck, to another country they have no clue about, and watch them change things. That's the issue here. None of us recognize something until it happens to us or we're part of it. That's usually what's happened with higher ups. is their family, oh, it's not going to affect my family. Well, maybe we should affect their families and show them what it's like. I would love every country in the world, the president say, okay, yeah, you, the guy with the perfect kids, the perfect wife, the perfect husband, the perfect house, guess what? Get out of here. I'm pushing you out. I'm going to send you over here. And then you tell me your experience. You want to see change, how fast people would change this? If it doesn't affect them, they don't care. We have to find a way to make it affect them, not push them out of their homes, but show them the reality of what it really is like. You think about your children right now. What would you do if your children were just pushed out? If you got injured or even killed, and your children were just not thought about, pushed out to some country, thrown into some little house, little home, even under a bridge, how would that make you feel? That's the attitude we got to get people to think about. If it was your family, what would you do? Problem is, it's not their families. It's our families. It's your families. So we got to get
we could do that as a tourist destination. Take them out and bring them under the bridge.
Absolutely. Let them
They have to
see what
pay
it
for that.
feels like. Here, you want a national television program? Let's kick the rich people out of their homes, or the ones that really don't care, and show them what it's like for one day. And I guarantee you're going to see a lot of changes happening. Guaranteed.
We can do that. Why not?
Yeah.
Tell them an experience a day like a refugee.
Exactly.
Maybe they'll take the challenge.
You know what? I bet a lot of people would want to see that, and I think it would work. But we got to get to that there first. So, all right, we have wonderful hands up here. Number one, I want to thank the young gentleman that just came in for speaking also. And all the ladies, I think it's wonderful that you had the courage to come out here and speak up, because that's what Obless is. Obless is going to give you the courage to get things fixed. And I can't wait to see that. So, Engineer Mike, you have your hand up. Please ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everybody, our leaders all over the world. It is very touching to hear these kind of stories. It happens all over the world. Imagine people sitting in camps, refugee camps. They eat bread and toothpaste. They see worse than that. In my country, Cameroon, we have 10 regions, or we call them 10 provinces before, the same like Canada. In the English-speaking region, there is war. That war started like 7 years ago. Now we have people living in the bushes. We have people who have fled to Nigeria. But before even the people start fleeing, we have Central African Republic that had a big war, and people ran from Central African Republic and came to Cameroon. In the northern part of Cameroon, we also have the Boko Haram people in Nigeria. The Boko Haram insurgent that drove people, and the people are in the northern part of Cameroon. But now in the southwest and northwest region of Cameroon, we have fighting, serious fighting. They kill 6-month-old kids, 3-month-old kids. They burn houses with old people to death. The United Nations is not talking nothing about it. It's heartbreaking to sit down and we say we are human beings. That's the situation, the same thing. It started in Somalia, people were fighting, they had to separate. That's how we have Fatuma, is where she is now. She's Somalian. People are fleeing for war all over. Bad governance. Everywhere. So I wanted to offer something to, is it Fetra? Ferouz. So what I want to say is, Ferouz, if you can go along, if you are so hooked up in that the refugee guys over there, I want you to look at the number of people who have like laptops. If they have laptops, everybody that have laptops there, let's get the number. You give the number to Chris Johnson, the number of people. I want to enroll them. I have a course that I teach, okay? I want to teach them a course in IT for 4 months that can make them relocate from where they are to these countries that they want to go to because they can work online. That course is called Linux System Administration, okay?
Remote system. All right.
It starts
That's really
with,
nice.
it starts, the least that you can get as a Linux system admin, okay, is 75,000 US dollars a month, a year, sorry.
Wow.
That brings you up to about $2,000 to $3,000 every month. So if you have them, the people that have laptops, put them together, give the number to Chris Johnson. Next month, I want to start a class with them. All of those refugees, the people who have laptops, I want to empower them to have something that they can use to live. Even if all of us cannot sponsor them, they can have something that online, I can help them. They go online, apply for jobs, and they can work from where they are to better their life. And they can, save some money and move from one space to another where they want to go to. So please, Faris, go to those camps, check on them. The ones that have laptops, I can connect them with my Zoom. I will teach them for 4 months and they will get what they want to get. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much. Amazing. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that, brother. All right, that's Michael. Michael's been it's been a given day. Michael's been helping out quite a lot of people, so I do appreciate that, Michael. Violet Ryan from Canada, can you please unmute yourself?
Good evening, or maybe it's morning. I don't know. It's dark here. I really don't know what to say other than, like, why do these refugees not have a choice as to what country they go to? Do the people just ship them out to wherever? And I'm sorry. I maybe I should just get off because I'm gonna say something stupid or ask really something dumbo. And
Hey, Violet, yes, the first two answers to your question is yes and yes. People are pushed out and shoved to different areas. Maybe once in a while, some of them have a choice, but I don't think that's too much. But go ahead, say, I know it's hurtful.
Why are they being shoved out? Okay, I understand war, and right now the Ukrainians are coming to Canada. I've met a few of them now, and so I don't get it. Like, are people really that stupid? Sorry,
but they're evil. You just have
evil.
The devil gets in a lot of people, whether you believe it or not. He knows how to get into people.
Yes.
All right. That's the truth. But Violet, this has been going on for thousands of years with human beings. And to me, it's gone too far one day past 10,000 years ago. If people like these individuals who are speaking with us today, back then had a courage like they do, we might not have these issues. But the fact is, we do have these issues. And I'll say this, and I'm not against government, but man, government just doesn't care or doesn't know how to fix anything, but people do. And you're looking at a lot of the people on this webinar right now that want to help and create different ways, different ideas, so we don't have to keep going through this. The world would be so much better if we just gave a little bit of care and help people out, like adoption. You know, it's a good thing, but technically, if people just would love each other instead of hate each other all the time, we wouldn't have to have any of this. But
yeah, you got a point there. I'm thinking of my parents during the Second World War. Like my grandfather kind of put two and two together, and there was a train that stopped at the end of the track in Ukraine, and they just put my mom on a boxcar and hoped that it left the country. It ended up in Germany, and she became a nanny to a baroness. And my dad, I don't know how he got to wherever, but he was in a concentration camp and apparently in line for the gas chamber. When the SS standing beside him looked like he was spaced out, he just said, "Excuse me," walked around him and went back to the barracks. And with my mother, there was a group of people that got together that were small group Bible study prayer group. And she says, we were praying and you could hear the bomb come down. Apparently they whistle. And she says it was heading right for us. And then next thing she knows, it blew up way far away. And after the prayer, a lady said, "We have an angel sitting on our roof and he caught the bomb and threw it away." And that's only the reason why I'm here, or else they wouldn't have got together. And, you know, they got on boats, and my mom said she barfed before it even left the dock and barfed all the way across, never ate anything. And I don't know, I don't know.
Violet, here's my advice to you. Pray for that person, that wonderful angel that caught that bomb and threw it somewhere else. Pray for that angel to come back and start looking over people that are left to rot.
Actually, I think I really believe he has come to Earth, and his name is Ash Mufara. And
Well, let me tell you something about that. Ash, we could say is heaven sent. But one thing he does not like is when people compare him to God, or he's not a God, he's a man. He's a great man with an extremely smart mind. Yeah, he's got a big heart. But I'll be honest, Ash does not like when people say that about him, or myself, because I'm a Christian,
Okay.
but he's a man. He's a great man. And
Okay.
we'll leave it at
But-
that. But he's got a heart. He's got a heart, you could say, just like God, where he wants to help everyone out. So, Violet, did that answer your questions?
Kind of. I'll just shut up and,
Chris,
sit back and listen to people that know what they're talking about.
You're okay, Violet. We appreciate your opinion.
Chris,
Okay.
I forgot to add something to what I was saying. So
Go
the
ahead.
classes I'm offering is for free for those guys. The only thing they need to do is to get a laptop. It doesn't matter how many they are, 100 plus, I'll teach them for free, all of them. The only thing they need to do is to get a laptop. For 4 months, I'll make them have a career for their life. That's all I need. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. So if anyone of you ladies or gents that are interested in Michael's offer, you can get back with me and I'll get you the information to Michael. Okay, Mr. Tony Monk, can you please unmute yourself, brother?
Hi, Chris, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, buddy.
All right, great. My camera's not working, so that's why you can't see me. I'm having issues with it. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Chris. This has been going on for thousands of years. It's nothing new. It's unfortunate that it has. And the only reason it's been going on for so long, Feroz, is because Ampasa didn't exist until up to now. And founding members of this company, the core of being a founder is Oblast. And we're going to be able to bless so many people around the world. The problem has been, and it's been going on for a long time, is that people have created a mentality, an egotistic mentality The thoughts are profits before people. Profits before people have been going on for so long. Corporations, that's all they think about. Governments, that's all they think about. We need to instill into our youngsters, our children, into the educational aspect of things, to teach our children that people are a heck of a lot more valuable than profits. And I believe if we do that and we instill that into children, the next generation will change things. I lost hope a long time ago for adults to actually change things until I joined OnPassive and realized that there's a lot of adults that really actually do care. And they're right here on this panel and in this company. I believe that the majority of people on the planet are good people. They really are. It's the small authority, the small authority figures, the governments that control everything. They're a minute, and they control us. They control everyone. But I believe that the majority of people are good people, and they just want the best for everyone. I really do believe that. And I believe that the evil that we're talking about is a very small minute, like I was saying. And all we need to do is just, like the old saying goes, how do you eat a whole elephant? You know, one bite at a time, right? So we can become the solution to the problem, but we're going to become the solution to the problem one bite at a time. We can't do it all in one day. It's going to take time. But we have the resources here. We have the professionals. Ash has the professionals to deal with everything, even the red tape. We have the lawyers. We're in over 200 countries. We're going to make a big, huge difference. The people in OnPassive, we have 1.4 million people, and we're going to have a heck of a lot more coming in as we move forward. All of these people will be able to adopt a family in need. That you were talking about, and I think that's going to make a huge difference. And then later on, corporations, the greedy corporations that I'm talking about, that think profits before people, they're going to look at OnPassive and they're going to say, "What is OnPassive doing that we're not doing?" They have huge philanthropists that are helping humanity. Maybe we should jump on board. And they're going to jump on board egotistically, but it doesn't matter, because they're going to help in a philanthropist way, and they're going to make a big difference. And then we're going to have a snowball effect, and we're going to have all these corporations that are going to help humanity. I believe that it's going to start with OnPassive. I really do believe OnPassive came at the right time, and we are here to change the world, to make it a better place for everyone. I mean, think about it for a minute. Our CEO had in mind, he wanted to help out the 98% of people who've been struggling to make ends meet on the internet. This man has a huge heart and a huge vision. This is a person that created a list of over 800 million people. That's completely unheard of. The man has a huge heart. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's leading us to, I think he's leading humanity to the promised land, not just OnPassive, but OnPassive is going to be the vehicle that's going to take us there. Thank you so much, Chris. Back to you, my brother.
Thank you, Tony Monk. Very wonderful words and wise words. I appreciate that. Mr. Bruce Gerstein, can you please unmute yourself, brother?
Thank you, Mr. Chris Johnson. I want to thank you for bringing Tina here. And Tina, I want to thank you for bringing all these lovely women here. I also want to thank Fairuz, because you said something that was most important. You said you'll help them one at a time, because we can only help one person at a time. But every person that we help make a difference. I want to, there's a lot of things that have been talked about here. And we should really be looking at solutions, because we get angry when we start talking about things that are going wrong all the time. Find the things that are going right. Find the things that are positive rather than the negative that we get stuck in. I had a friend who he loved the way he lived, and because of his job, he had to move somewhere else. And he hated where he lived, and he complained about where he lived all the time. And another friend said to him, "Is that where you're going to live for a long time?" "Yes, and I hate it." He goes, well, why don't you make it the best paradise you can make it? And eventually he learned that he loves where he lives. And he learned how to live and love that place. I'm not saying that because people should just accept where they are, because, I think about the caste system in India and the untouchables, and I think about refugees, and they're considered lesser than less, the less of less, of the least desirable. Refugees, they leave to take refuge in a place that's safer for them. And it may not be safer and it may be harder, but they wanted to get away from where they were because they would die there. So now they're living harshly. So if we look at the little sign behind a lot of people here, it says lifting up humanity. Lifting up humanity takes more than just feeding somebody. It takes lifting up their spirit. Certainly food helps that, but acknowledgement of people and the importance of them and the validity of them goes a long way. Let's say we have all these people who are good. Some of them know how to build things. A lot of refugees know how to build things. Chris knows how to build engines from scratch. Doesn't it make him feel good when he accomplishes that? The answer is yes. So if somebody helps to build the house that they're living in, they get to become proud of that, and it becomes theirs. And when it becomes theirs, they feel good because they have something of them for themselves. And so they learn how to live in places that could be harsher. I also think about refugee camps, and I don't like the word camps because camps are usually considered disgusting and full of disease, and they are a lot. But if the government doesn't care about them, maybe they don't really care if somebody comes to help them too. And maybe at some point, all us founders can do something to help these people in spite of the government, in spite of what the government doesn't want them to do. They resent them because they have to take care of them. Let's help take care of them. Let's help them learn how to take care of themselves. One of the other things that's very important is activities for people. If you're just sitting in a refugee camp and you do nothing but sitting there and smoking and doing whatever you do and drinking, you don't feel good about yourself. But if you have activities, if you have music and you dance and you sew and you create things, you start to feel better about where you live. And when you start learning how to appreciate where you live, no matter how harsh it may be, you can always improve yourself. Because you say to yourself, I want to live here, but I want it to be better. And like I said, Malaysia is a beautiful country. Singapore is a beautiful country. Cambodia is a beautiful country. All these countries are beautiful countries. So it's a very important thing to realize the beauty you have around you. You do that by learning how to build yourself up, build your home up, build your spirit up, and build your community up. And give each other hugs. Make sure people learn how to hug each other, because hugs go a long way in this life. So anyway, I've talked a long time. I did have a question. So, Fido, if you felt like there was something you wanted to do first to help people lift themselves up from the poverty and everything else that they have, is there something that you would want to do first? Fido can answer that. Tina can answer that. Any of the women can answer that.
Could you please repeat your question again, Bruce?
If there was something you felt you wanted to first do, the one thing that was most important to get going right away, what would it be?
Yeah. Faisal or Zaida or even Fatuma, would you like to answer the question? If there was something that you could do first, what would that be, and how would you do it? Iris?
Okay. If there was something that you should be done, is pressure, of course. If we can all pressure UNCHR, if any of you in the have friends who have connections with the United Nations, maybe some pressure on the Malaysian UNCHR, because Faisal feels that there is some bureaucracy going on. So maybe they are not knowing where the money is going, or is there any money sent to UNCHR Malaysia? So maybe that's first. And then, of course, if you can't adopt them and bring them to your country, you can then adopt them and send them some funds for them to have, a breather. That is, or I want to set up an Arabic customer service center. I need clients and I don't know how to charge. So maybe some kind of advice on that. And a school, if you want to start a school, there again funds. So the first thing would be pressure on UNCHR. Why are they not taking them out of Malaysia? And for those who love Malaysia, we can create jobs for them. As Mike says, he'll teach them how to make some money through remote work. So I think some things like that can start up, fix them up a bit. And I wouldn't say fix, or I cannot say that word fix. They should not be fixed. So help them out in that way. That would be the best. Does that answer the question? Thank you.
That's fine. Faisal, I can see that you want to do a lot of things. But what's very important is some way find ways to uplift spirit. You uplift spirit, you get a community. When you have a community, the community can help each other. Not just bless, but everyone can bless each other just by learning how to be kind to each other in refugee camps. Doesn't feed them, it feeds their souls, doesn't feed their bodies. But what's important is that you start to do something positive. And every time you do something positive, another positive thing happens. One by one, you start to see possibilities.
Yes. And I'm so happy that everyone here understands and will definitely help us. That it's really nice. And I'm really glad for this session. Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much for highlighting us. And Malaysia, actually, flour is subsidized by the government. And so the refugees eat eat bread more than rice. So that's a help. They all bake and they pass it around. I wouldn't be worried about food here, but I'm more worried for their health, their education, and their well-being, their mental health as well. So it'd be nice if they know when they're going, some kind of direction. If UNCHR can be pressured by any of you here, and then they give them a timeline. Okay, you're going in 6 years, or going in 4 years. There's some kind of hope, but there's no structure at all. So this is giving you a mental problem because you don't know where you're heading. It's not fair. How can you live without knowing? I don't understand why people allow this to happen, but it is happening, and maybe we can all try and help them out. If they can be pressured, UNCHR, give them a timeline, then everything be fine. Just knowing where they're heading, what is their fate. They cannot be going out from a terrible place into a more terrible place. It's not fair. It's just not right.
You're absolutely
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you for those wonderful answers you gave, Bruce. Guys, we have about 19 minutes left. We have 4 hands left, which is Dr. Benny, Sylvia, Mr. Richard, and Julie. Let's see if we can get them all in there by 11 o'clock. Dr. Benny, please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Brother Chris, for giving me this opportunity. Sister Tina, thank you for bringing our sisters here to come here and share their opinion on the problems that is occurring over there. Thank you also, Engineer Michael, for willing to teach. Now, it all depends, right? If they're willing to. We all know that education is the key to success. Without education, to me, I am nothing. To be good is not good enough. You have to exceed expectation. Now, Sister Zada, Sister Farah, Sister Fatuma, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Now, the only question I want to ask, do you guys have founders within your camp? I'm sorry, do you guys have founders within your camp? Are you a founder?
I'll answer that, Dr. Benning. All 4 of them have been blessed with a foundership in OMPASSIVE.
Very good. So the reason I'm asking this is because if we have founders here, then it will really be an opportunity since we have All Blessed, right? And first of all, we really want to thank our CEO for All Blessed. And those, since you say something about education, we do have Academy as well. So whoever is willing to learn, we have it for them. And just to let you know that with this All Blessed, since we have almost 1.4 million, even if one of us just contribute $1 each, then they will not suffer again. I know they will not. But thank you for coming because we are going to work together. Our CEO said we should work together and help each other. With All Blessed, we will help each other. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Very wise words. I didn't expect anything else but wise words out of you. Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it. Miss Sylvia, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Chris, for giving me the floor. This is a real heartbroken when hearing a story like this, testimony. So I would like to take this moment to say thank you to Tina, who brought all our sister and younger brother over here. So this problem is something that goes around, goes and come back. In my country, we witnessed the same situation. But what we can say is, it's very cruel. We cannot sit down and just look at it. And we thank our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufari, for bringing All Blessed, which is going to be the tool to eradicate this problem. Even if it's going to be in the long run, because trust me, it's not going to be easy, but we will get there. 1 million founders. If we duplicate ourselves, I think we solve so many problems. How can we do to improve living condition of the population living in those poor areas? How can we do to stop those physical, psychological abuse? That is a real threat to human being. And we are here because we care. We are here because we want to restore this dignity, that human dignity. How can we do? Thank you for those who already volunteer in any way to help, education and so on. Any single help any single thing that everyone does will help a lot. When I look around, I don't know how I can answer to those cries, but we have All Blessed. I've been blessed to be a founder of Unpassive, to change and touch so many lives. I will be happy to know that tomorrow, people who go to school in Malaysia will be able to buy medication and take care of their health. This is very important. So for that occasion, I'm blessing Malaysia with one account. If Chris, I don't know if it's via Chris, I'll give all the information to Chris so we can have that account and help those people. That's what I want to say. Thank you so very much. To all our sisters and brothers, may God bless your heart. It's not easy to hear that, but we are here to hold hand and work together. Thank you.
Thank you, my wonderful sister, Sylvia. Sylvia, if you can, Tina, do you are hooked up with Sylvia on Facebook?
I will. I may not be, but I will.
I'm not on Facebook right now, Chris.
Okay, well, then you got my email, right, Sylvia?
Yes, I do.
Right.
I'll text you.
Send it to me and I'll forward it to Tina.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much, Sylvie.
You're very welcome.
You don't know what you do. Yeah, you don't know what a gift you're giving. It would definitely help Fairuz and Zaida in their mission to help not just the Somalian community, but also the others that are in Malaysia. Like Fairuz said, there's about 200 to 300,000 of them there without help. And what Faisal was saying earlier with regards to they are there on a medical status, that is probably where the issue is. So they get, only those who get to go to a better place is when they have a medical issue. And as you also hear, the people dying because they are ready to go, but because of bureaucracy, that is the bottleneck. Not even the bottleneck, that bottle stopper is not helping these people here over in Malaysia. I feel so much for them. They're my neighbors. Malaysia and Singapore, we used to be one country until we got our independence. So I feel them. Thank you very much for what you have gifted. I'll get in touch with you, Sylvie.
Okay.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sylvie. Richard, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
I love all of you men and women, beautiful men and women from the world, from the bottom of my heart. You know, this makes me sad when I hear this. But unfortunately, the whole world is suffering right now. It's crazy. You go to a store, there's no food in the shelves. The poor guy who delivers the food can't afford the gas because it's up to $10 a gallon. So he can't bring you the food to the stores. This whole world has so much corruption in the politicians and the UN, I'm sorry to say that, but all these high-placed people are so busy thinking about this guy and that guy over there that are in war, they forgot all about what they stand for. They're supposed to be there for the people. They're not supposed to be there for their pockets and themselves. They're supposed to be there for the people. I'm sorry to speak like this, but when I'm upset, I know why I'm upset. Because we all have a heart from God full of love, and they're doing their best with the media and the politics to kill that love. They're trying to make enemies out of every last human being in this world. I'm sorry to speak like this. I don't want to be negative. But there is one thing, and one thing that I'm very positive of. Ash Mufarah could not have picked a better time in this world to launch what he's going to be launching this year. He could not have, I mean, think about it. Everything is so much down that we are going to take all of it and we're going to lift it right back up to where it's supposed to be. Men, women, and children with homes, water, medical, you name it, it's coming. And Ash Mufareh is the founder, CEO, inventor, or whatever you want to call the man. I love that man with a passion. But what he's bringing to this world will explode the world. He said, get ready for an earthquake. Get ready for a tsunami. It's coming. So ladies, keep on helping the refugees. We're coming. And we're coming faster than everybody thinks. May God bless all of you and take care of all you and your families. With my love from my heart, big kiss and big hug to all of you. Thank you for listening to my getting pissed off.
Richard, thank you, brother. And obviously you still have a lot of love in you, so they haven't got to all of us yet. So keep that up, brother. Julie Wen, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you so much, Tina, for bringing the beautiful guests here. Ladies and gentlemen, you are beautiful people, and you're so strong, and you stand up for the unfortunate. I just like to say thank you so much for doing that. I am myself a refugee as well. I believe that there are beautiful people still around in this world, and I'm so thankful and appreciate this country that take our family in. And I believe that everything that is currently happening right now, we can't not depend on our government for the rest of our life. We cannot. We are depending on the good people around here. And ladies and gentlemen, also, we are here in this community, and our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, has many times has said, we are doing everything that we can to give the power back to the people. We are receiving that power, and we are in Unpassive, and that's one of the reasons why Oblast is here. And I would like to make a suggestions with you, and not only that, our guests here today, but for everyone who has a heart for the refugees, who has a heart to help humanity, in different countries. How can we come together? And the next time, if you ever coming back into this platform, or if you could please study the process, how one can support a family, or how one can adopt a family. What is the process? What are the documents? If you could prepare doing that, because what we knowing is that we know how to work on our plan and carry out our plan. So the plan of actions for me that I feel listening to the webinar today is, if you could, and you probably already know how to do it, but next time when you are coming back, or when there is a chance for you to share with all of us here, please share with us how can one family could adopt one. Currently right now, we can sponsor or can help with a founder positions. However, we could do so much more once our company is in running to the public. We can help so much more. And there are so many good people still in this world, and especially in this community of Unpassive. I'm so blessed to meet you today, and I'm so blessed to know that you're a stand up for humanity. And I want to thank you for that. And I do want to support everything that you are doing. So if you could please, next time when you come back, please let us know the process of doing that, adopting the family, or how can we help. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Tina, for leading it and bringing this to all of us here.
Thank you, Julie Wen, for the wonderful words. Okay, we have 2 more hands up. And Jennifer, you had your hand up too. Did you want to say something? You sure? Don't get all shy on me now. You did. I did. I don't think you were trying to give me a high five. You sure? Last chance. You want to, because you were next in line. You want to say something?
Yeah, I actually just messaged Tina what I was going to say, but I'm wanting to donate 2 spots to 2 single moms over there. So if they could find me 2 single moms, that's really close to my heart, to help out single moms. So if I could do that. So I think I sent her my email so she can get a hold of me.
Thank you, Jennifer, very much. I'm glad that you came on and said that. I also got another text from another gentleman said I wants to do the same thing. Tina, I'll get you that information. Jennifer, thank you very much. Okay, my beautiful sister, Miss Bridget, please unmute yourself. There was another lady. Where'd her hand? Where did Lily Lane's hand go? Do you have your hand up, Lily Lane?
That was Auntie Mary Pendy. I saw her.
Oh, Mary Pendy. You come back. Go ahead, Bridget. You're next. But Mary Pendy, you know I always got time for all my sisters. Come on.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, my brother Chris. Thank you, Tina, for coordinating this, and thank you, Zaidan. And Faisal, is he still here? You guys, I'm so speechless. There is no reason why people should go through all this. The refugees, there is just no reason whatsoever. I am glad everybody has said pretty much what I had on my heart, that OnPassive being the correction to the corruption will definitely resolve all these issues. Obviously, there's so much corruption in terms of how the refugee situation is being handled. It should be handled better than the way it's going. And in the sense that we're thinking of adopting some of those refugees, I think that's such a good idea. And I really thought if we can all think about things in that direction, eventually we were able to help using our OBLES system. So that's all I have to say. And thank you so much, Tina, for bringing this to light.
Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate your always kind words. I'm looking for, where'd Marie Pendy go? Marie, you still out there?
She's right here.
Oh, Marie, where are you hiding from me? You know you can't hide from me. Come on, let me hear what you got, sweetie.
I just wanted to, say one line of, listening to this webinar. Really have enjoyed listening to everyone. And thank you for all the guests that came and brought to light some of the difficulties that we are facing around the world. Like Mike said, I come from Cameroon, and some of us were born in the English part of Cameroon. We have French and English as our national language. This part that we came from, we have war, and the war has been going on for the past 7 years. So we've had displaced families, displaced children. Last week, I just sent a video to Mike where Mike's ancestor come from. They burned down the only hospital that was standing to serve the people there. They burned down schools, boarding schools, where children go to study in order to better themselves and to better their society or their community. So these things are all over the world. And what makes it difficult is the bureaucracy that is in the way of helping. Statistics in reality shows that if you donate $1 to a cause, it's only like 5 cents that eventually goes to the cause. The 95 cents will be written that they used it to pay the bills or the light bill or somebody's salary. So the actual cost of the money you are donating $1, they only get 5 cents out of the dollar if they are lucky to have it. So I just wanted to say that this Obless is a blessing, because when we are presented a situation through crowdfunding, we'll just go directly to the cause to try to solve the problem, as opposed to going through the bureaucracies and the red tapes and not knowing whether we're going to help the cause. That's why sometimes when I drive through the streets of DC, going to work or coming home, I prefer to give the money directly to the homeless person who runs to me and ask for money for the next meal, as opposed to going to give it to where they live, because they may not actually have any of that money. Yes, so I'm really happy that we have this Obless, and the money is going to go directly. And there's more to come in terms of giving from individuals, especially like me. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Very much, Marie Pendy. I'm staying tuned. I love that. That's a good one. Oh, look, I got another hand up. Miss Karina, go ahead, my other beautiful sister.
Thank you, Chris.
Please.
I'll keep it real short. I honestly just wanted to come on and say thanks to Auntie Tina for bringing them on. This was a really awesome webinar. They always are. I love you guys so much, Chris, for all you do. All of you, you're beautiful people. So yeah, I'm excited to help as many as we can, and I know that we will. So thank you so much for being here, and Tina for bringing them. Thank you. Thanks, Chris, for letting me speak for a minute.
Thank you, Corinne. Thanks for making it short. Now I got another hand. Mr. William Norris, go ahead with your very, very short comment.
All right, man, I'll make it short and quick. Yeah, I want to, I'd like to donate a found position to this cause as well. I think it's really important. I think when we put ourselves in the position of some of these people, I think we can actually begin to feel what it's like. And I think we really need to do that. So I'm willing to donate a position at this point to this cause.
Beautiful. Now, William, do you have Tina on your Facebook?
I don't think so.
All right, just send me, everyone that wants to donate, send me your registration link if you're on my Facebook or your email, and I will make sure Tina gets it. I already sent Tina one. So if any of you want to do that privately, you could definitely send it to me through my Facebook, your registration link, or my email. And I promise you, I will get it right to Tina, and she will pick the single moms like Jennifer wants. And if you have a specific individual, which to me, if they got a heart, that's a specific individual, you can help them out. William, I appreciate that.
Absolutely welcome.
All right. Guys, first of all, I'm going to thank everyone that I know, Lynn Nakamoto for advertising and running the board for me. Same with Julie Wen. Thank you for advertising and running the board. I want to give the honor to Tina to thank these beautiful ladies and gentlemen that came on today. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for opening our eyes up to things that we never really understand or hear. I will say this today to this group. I know we got like about 98, 100 people on here. If you know people that are refugees, have been pushed out of their homes for any situation, I would love to hear their story, and I would love you to hear their story, because before Admira went off to bed, she says something to me that I repeat to myself all the time. Just when I think I got it bad, there's millions of people who have it a lot worse than us. And there's 26.6 million refugees that would gladly fill our shoes any day for 5 minutes. Just remember that. So Tina, I personally want to thank you for bringing these wonderful individuals, ladies and gent, to this webinar. And I would love to give you the honor to saying their names properly, because you know I'm going to mess them all up. And ladies, I love you with all my heart. God's blessings always to all of you, what you're doing. And I'm praying Bless comes fast, and I will work shoulder to shoulder with all of you to do whatever it takes to fix this. Tina, you can say what you got to do and close it out.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Chris, you know, I stuff up too. I always do. I blabber most of the time, but I want to repeat what I always say in most of the webinars, that I'm already blessed. I'm already blessed with just having my life. I'm blessed with the best husband I have, the most beautiful children I have, and on passive will take care of them. So it is a manifestation that comes true. I still remember I on Dubai when I said, Ash, you're my hero. And he asked me why he hasn't done anything. Oh my God, how could he say that? He's done so much for every one of us. And we will be doing a lot more. And I'm so happy. And thank all of you here, Chris, my Captain Chris, Angel Johnson, Julie Nguyen, my lovely Lynn, everyone here, and especially so to my dearest sister from the cosmos, Fairuz, Zaida. Fatuma, thank you for being here. Faisal has left because he has to work. He told me that he's got to clock hours so that he can get paid. I hope he gets paid. But we're all waiting for On Passive to get up and to really come on board so that the apples are enough for them and for everyone else. I'm also been doing, I'm actually asking Zaida and Fairuz to give me a list of the people who needs On Passive most. And I'm definitely going across until the finish line on the 22nd of June to get as many of them on board. Thank you so much, Chris, once again for this platform. Thank you all of you for your support and being here. Just being here is support enough to get that awareness that we are all blessed and we are all human. We're one family. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Before I tell everybody to say goodbye, I also want to thank Mike. And don't forget about Michael's offer, engineer Mike. If you have a laptop and you want to learn something that can help you, send that information to Tina. We'll get it to Mike. And a lady did ask, actually, Fatuma asked a question, what if we don't have a laptop? Good question. Maybe we could partner you up with someone over there or someone that has a laptop. And I'm sure Mike will gladly help them out also. So Michael, once again, thank you. Thank you to everyone that donated a position to help out this humongous cause that's going to take a lot of work to fix. But I know we're all going to put our gloves and boots on and really dig into this. I want to thank you.
We got a lot of work to do.
We got a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. We really do. God bless you all. It's after 11. It's 11:10. Those that have to go to work tomorrow, God bless you, because hopefully that changes for you all soon. Tomorrow is on Passive 360. Also, the Julie Milo show at 6:30 on Passive 360 is going to be at 12, I believe. I got to talk to Red and Marty. I think it is 12, and Ash comes out, it's 2. So, for 2 o'clock, Ash is coming on, but I think it's 12. We'll see. Julie Milo, 6:30. And then there's a million other webinars all over the place. Check them out. Get to your back office and check it out. And let's just do this. God bless everyone. God bless the Passive. God bless the Mafara family. And God bless all of you for opening your hearts on this wonderful thing called Oh Bless. Good
God
night,
bless
everyone.
you, Chris.
Unmute, say your goodbye.
Love you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
I was on your
Everybody.
webinar today.
Tulip
from Philadelphia.
Bye, Zagaya. Thank you for the gift of On Passive. Love you.